So a few final words, including additional information on the Legionnaire's disease. In the case of Legionnaire's disease, between the people who attended the convention and the people who worked at the hotel, there were 182 cases. More than 130 of those required hospitalization, and 29 individuals died. So it was a significant issue, and it actually is still present today because this bacteria is naturally occurring in freshwater bodies, but if the water system for things like pools and hot tubs especially are not maintained properly, then people can breathe that mist containing that bacteria in and become ill. And it's estimated that there are 20,000 cases per year still occurring in the United States. A lot has happened in Florida. There was a major outbreak due to a pool or sauna in the New England area about 2 years ago. So it's still something to pay attention to. So the last two things we'll do is look at a graph of or a diagram of indoor air pollutants in a home, and then just review the key concepts. So I know this graph is a little hard to read, but it shows you some of the sources of indoor air pollutants in a modern or developed country. Chloroform. We treat our water, and many municipalities use even higher concentrations of chlorine to treat our drinking water and the water that shows up in our hot showers. And when it becomes aerosolized through the shower spray, there is potential that chloroform could exist in the bathroom. So ventilating a bathroom properly to the outdoors would be recommended. Let's move down to some of the other more common sources. Down here we have particulates. Particulates are tiny particles that are in the air that can be breathed in, and when they do, it irritates the lungs, especially if an individual has asthma, can cause an asthma attack, cause, things like itchy eyes, runny nose, and that type of thing. And some of the major particulates you might find in a home are pollen, pet dander, dust mites, and cooking smoke particles. So again, things you can do about that: screens, ventilation, vacuuming, venting when you're cooking. Asbestos I've already mentioned, but in addition to being in flooring and ceiling tiles and insulation, as I mentioned, it's also in particular possibly in pipe insulation. Carbon monoxide we already talked about. Methylene chloride I hadn't yet mentioned. That can be present in paint strippers and thinners. And so again, you want to use improper ventilation or wearing proper mask. Tobacco smoke, we often don't think of that as an indoor air pollutant, but it is. And it may be a cancer-causing or respiratory ailment-causing or heart disease-causing threat to not only the individual who smokes, but to anyone who is exposed to secondary smoke. Radon I've mentioned. Benzopyrene can be in tobacco smoke. Let's see, some styrene in carpets and plastic products. Formaldehyde I've already mentioned. So I think you get the idea. Oh, air fresheners. These paradichlorobenzene chemicals can be found in air fresheners, mothball crystals, and there is a risk of cancer with those. So here's the key concept review. Define air pollution, name natural and human causes of air pollution. Mainly, we're interested in the human-caused ones because those require remediation. Explain why air pollution is a global concern, how it's a tragedy of the commons. Air in one place is eventually air in another place. identify the major air pollutants and their sources, and distinguish between primary and secondary pollutants. Describe the cause and effect, but not necessarily the process, but the cause and the effect of smog, acid deposition, thermal inversion, and stratospheric ozone depletion. Describe ways to reduce air pollution, and be able to describe the causes and effects of indoor air pollution, which are different for economically developed countries and developing countries. And that's it. Let me know if you have any questions.